Andrew. Andrew's on the desk at the moment, a great fellow that he is. Yes. Peter Maxwell is on the settee, great fellow that he is. How are you? Hey, you're made for some. Peter's of the Inland Waterways Association of Ireland, the Newry and Portadown branch. And you were made for summertime. You were made for the outdoors.
Oh, made for the sunshine.
I know you were. I know you were, absolutely. But many's the place you were that lacked sunshine when you were down in the Southern Ocean, for goodness sake.
Yes, indeed.
Do you miss the world travelling, around the world sailing?
No, not the sailing bit of it. I think I've had enough of that.
You've done it.
But it was great to get to those places. And that's the important thing. There's no point in leaving it until you've retired. You're too old.
No. But even if you hadn't done it for the years you did it, now that you're retired, you're still fit. You'd be driven to do it.
Aye, but it's hard going. Maybe only 4 or 5 hours sleep in bad weather, and that broken sleep at that.
My God!
And then having to sit up all night in a lonely anchorage with nobody, maybe for 1,000 miles.
Do you scratch your head and say, "How did I do it?"
I think back now and I realise I think we were very lucky to come back.
Really?
Oh yes.
You would say that?
Yes, I definitely would. It's a risky business.
It is. Yeah. In anybody's book, it is.
And we never carried any radios or anything like that. When we were out there, entirely our own, we relied on ourselves. We would not have expected anybody to come out and rescue us.
You see, the gods of the oceans and the universe and the winds, Aeolus, may well have respected that.
Yes.
And said, these guys are going out there on their own to sail, so we'll give them good fortune.
Well, yes, but a lot of it is preparation for the task, and making sure, because if you're not relying on somebody to pull you out of a hole, you have to be self-reliant.
It has to be good
on yourself.
All the way, yeah. But and the lovely thing that you did, that it's given to very few men to turn a dream into reality. It's given to very special men to do it. And you dreamed of the boat and you built the boat yourself and your dear partner.
Yes, and actually I was just reflecting only yesterday, funnily enough, about the shipping that used to come in and out of Newry. And we were based in Newry, for the last few years. We actually have sailed further away from Newry than any vessel that's ever sailed out of Newry, I believe, having been out as far as Australia.
It's wonderful.
And Cape Horn.
It's wonderful. You went round Cape Horn?
Oh, yes.
I love the way you say, oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, you've got to do that.
Oh, yes.
It's like if you're a mountaineer, serious mountaineer, you have to go up Everest.
You do.
But you don't do it on an organised trip. That's the difference.
So you can be ashore. What you swallow the anchor, you bit the anchor. What did you do? What do they say you do when you come ashore, the old sailor?
Well, what we did, we bought a canal boat. We toured the canals in England first of all, and then we have the boat here, and we're actually the boat's down on the River Barrow at the moment.
Is it?
Yes, and we're going
what
back
kind
down
of boat
tomorrow.
Is she?
Oh, she's a cabin cruiser, fiberglass one, but narrow beam, so it fits through all the locks in England. Yes, In Ireland, it's not a problem. The locks are all wide beam in Ireland.
Wide, yeah. Probably done for the great for the Guinness barges and all of that went.
I think the canals in England also started off wide beam, and then they decided to cut costs and make the canals narrower.
Yes, I suppose.
I think that was the real reason that they ended up with the narrow ones in England.
I suppose so.
Because originally they were built as a ship canal. I mean, the Newry Canal was to bring ships from Lough Neagh through to Newry. It was not for barges.
No, really? Was it not? I understood it was done specifically for barges. That's the inland navigation. But then the Newry Canal, the ship canal from Newry to the Victoria Lock, was for the ships?
The first boats to use the navigation, the canal from Lough Neagh, they were sailing boats.
Yes.
And they sailed with their cargo all the way to Dublin. So I mean, there were no barges.
No barges then.
It was like a chicken and egg situation.
Yes.
The canal was built to handle small boats.
Yeah.
And then the barges were proved to be more efficient for the actual inland navigation. But it did mean transshipping the cargo.
Transshipping the cargo, portage, is that what they call it when you haul boats across land between water?
Portage, yes.
Portage. Where did that come from? My memory's not that
French,
bad.
I believe.
Yes, it's portage.
Yeah.
You're drawing your boat across the tundra to get it from one river to the next.
Usually round a waterfall, actually, is what they did.
Round the waterfall, to get around it, the portage all occurred. The kind of dream to build the first boat, the big one, the one that took you around the world, whence did that dream come?
Well, we'd gone away in a small boat, a 27-footer, into the Mediterranean for a year. and we realised it was too small to live on board, and we also realised you actually didn't need much money. Nowhere near the amount of money to live on board that one would assume.
Yeah.
And so we reckon we could just about afford, and we looked at drawings and we thought, well, we could build I was afraid of building the big boat, it was too big. But anything else we looked at, you're putting in a similar amount of work and only ending up with a smaller boat.
Had you to grow new skills in the building of your beautiful boat, Maxwell?
No, not really, no, because I had an engineering background with steel work and stuff, so that wasn't.
So you were confident about the technology?
Oh, yes. Oh, well confident.
Great starting point, you know, it really was, Peter, a great starting point. And I must say, I got to know you late on in the adventure, and I had always great joy in meeting you back and telling the story and interviewing you and whatever, because you were lifting people's eyes above the horizon of the ordinary. You were giving people excitement.
Well, that's it. And we try and do the same now on the inland canal, because I mean, I think, as I told you the last day I was with you a couple of weeks ago, I had a minister from Stormont coming down, and I couldn't tell you at the time. Don't ask me why it was all hush hush. But it was.
It was the one with the hair. I didn't say that.
Most people have hair, you know. Except some
but she has hair.
A bit, you know.
It's a bit like.
Yes, but she's Carol Nichullin. She was is the Minister of Culture, Arts and Leisure at Stormont. Yes. And she came down as volunteer recognition. Yeah. And she spent over an hour with us, was very impressed with the way it all went. And to show, it's hard to get somebody who doesn't have a knowledge of canals to show what we did do, or what work we have done, is we put a boat in. And we took it up from lock number 2 to lock number 3.
To 3 being behind St. Coleman's College.
That's right. Yeah. And then we raised the level in the lock.
And is that level of water going to be constant there? No. We have to, because of drainage, we have to weld the gates open at lock number 2 again. But the big problem we had, she only saw the nice bit from lock number 2 up to lock number 3. The biggest problem we had was getting it from the slipway opposite Sands Mill up to lock number 2. Yes. Because it's only about 2 feet deep. And the last 100 yards towards the lock is weeds everywhere. Weeds, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but we decided not to waste our time on that bit with her.
No.
So we are still working away. We have to wait at the moment because of the fish breeding season. Of course. But we hope to be starting again.
Well, you would do that.
2 or 3 weeks.
You would do that in total harmony with nature. You do nothing that's vexatious to the world of nature.
Nothing intentional.
Oh, yeah.
But there are things that get pointed out to us by the likes of the Lochs Agency, which we're not. We're not a font of all wisdom. You know?
You are not omniscient.
No, indeed.
That's a lovely word,
yes,
isn't
not
it?
omnipresent either.
Omnipresent either.
But I tell you, about being all places at the same time, we're at the giant hogweed. I think you're aware of that.
I hit the giant hogweed. That hogweed needs to be dealt with, Arthur.
Well, we surveyed the canal yesterday, and we found 3 plants on the canal.
3? Only 3?
Only 3. We estimate that this year we've sprayed 6,500 hogweed plants on the canal and the catchment area for the canal. From Carnbane in.
Carnbane to Newry?
Yeah.
6,000?
Yeah. And in up to the Armagh Road and in around the industrial estates.
I would call that pretty successful.
Oh, very successful. We're very pleased with it. This is the third year we've been at it, and it's definitely paying dividends.
Yeah. What's wrong with hogweed? Why is it a villain?
Well, from an environmental point of view, it's what they call an umbellivore. The leaves give big shade and stop anything else from growing. So it takes over the whole place. It's an invasive species, so it's not indigenous. But the biggest danger with it is the sap from it. If you get that on your skin, it's what they call photophytic. It mixes with the DNA of the skin and reduces your ability to withstand sunlight drastically. It will blister. If you get some on your hand, you go into sunlight, within a few seconds, you get a blister. Yes. And it may recur for the rest of your life.
Goodness gracious.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's dangerous stuff. That's why we got involved. We're working along with Queen's University there in this control of invasives.
Yeah. But you see, you have, it's an elite association always with your branch. You're associated with the national organisation, which is the Inland Waterways Association of Ireland.
It's actually international, depending on your politics.
Yeah, indeed, depending on your indeed, international. So you have that association. Now, Queen's University studies. You're following best practice always.
Oh yes.
And you now have the safari thing's going great, where you tell people about what's going on.
There's one of those on right now.
Yes.
As we speak.
And
we have nine on that. And we actually had to turn people away yesterday. There were more people.
Why do you do it, Peter?
Personally, you mean?
Yeah,
why do I do
personally.
it?
What drives you? Because, you know, it's the most lovely liquid, but it's contained within a poison chalice.
Well,
It's tough.
it takes up a lot of time. There's
It
no
does.
doubt about that. I mean, the aim is to get that canal reopened.
Yeah.
To get it all the way from Newry to Portadown. And the bridges, to us, I may have said before, the bridges are not a problem in Newry, because the type of boat we envisage using that canal isn't the big white motorboat, the gin palaces.
No.
It'll be ordinary barges, probably the English-style narrowboat barges,
Yes,
which were
yes.
never actually on the canal, but still, it's more suitable for that. And they can't go out on Collingford Loch anyway.
No.
So, I mean, why not just stop at Sands Mill?
Yeah, and have it there.
Yeah,
and
and
then
they can go all the
forward.
way to the Banfoot.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
and I mean, that's be lovely, a long weekend
Yeah.
trip or
Fantastic.
Monday to Thursday trip, you know.
This is the new dream.
That's the dream, yes.
Now, from an engineering point of view, are there insurmountable difficulties?
No, none whatever, because the original canal was 5'6" deep.
Yeah.
If you use narrowboats, you actually only need 2'6".
How will you clear the areas of canal that you need to clear? What machinery would you need?
We
A
actually
draught?
estimate that there's very little clearing to do.
Really?
If you only want 2.5 feet of water, we reckon. Now we've done some experiments down at Moneypenny's Lock at the other end, and we're intending to do some on the top section to put in the equivalent of a gate, only
Yes.
3 feet high, and see how much water we end up with on the stretches. So no, there's nothing insurmountable. It is only finance, but this would be very cheap.
Yeah,
Because
course.
the dredging's where the big expense is.
So dredging's okay, it's doable, but you're now scratching the tender parts of government ministers, so to speak. You're touching government, and these are the people who will eventually be part and parcel of the formula that will bring the money to do it.
Well, possibly. I mean, the councils themselves own the canal. 4 councils, which are going to be only 2 fairly soon. And if funding was made available, I think that we could talk them into organising. But that funding doesn't have to come from Northern Irish government. It could be international money from Europe.
Have you identified yet possible repositories for the funding, where you'll get it?
It depends what you've got to tick the right boxes. This is the problem. I mean, technically, it should come under tourism.
Yeah.
Because you're increasing the tourism. It should be under rural redevelopment, because you're enhancing the whole area.
Yes.
It could come under any of the Interreg funds, just for improving the environment. It could be landfill tax refunds. It could be plastic bag tax refunds.
Yeah.
But it's actually getting the wording correct. This is the problem we have, is we're not organised to fill out forms.
No.
Now, lots of other associations, charities and so on,
they
have full-time funders.
Well, obviously you're going to have to get someone who can do this, because if you can't do it, you can't do it. That's not what you're about.
Yeah. Well, we asked the Canal Joint Development Committee, would they sponsor or pay somebody's wages for 12 months? And the answer was, yes, we'd love to. This is in the joint development meeting, but when you go to individual councils, when we went to 2, they have to share the cost, went to 2 councils and they said no, not until after the amalgamation of the councils.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's understandable. You'll be going back, knocking on their door.
Oh,
again,
yes.
Which will be fine. So it's all good. Summertime is here. Have you a great flock of kingfisher on the canal?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Compared with down in the Republic of Ireland on the canals, we've seen one kingfisher in 100 miles of canal. On the Newry Canal, you can walk up the towpath and see half a dozen within an hour.
Do you know, it was a red letter day when John Donnelly and I, 40 years ago, saw one kingfisher on the canal.
Yeah.
It was great
to
do that and see that and to write about it. It was an extraordinary event.
Beautiful. They're beautiful birds.
Beautiful birds. And they were just like a dart, a shimmer.
That's right.
A shimmer of luminescence.
Yes, that's right. You quite often only see them out of the corner of your eye. They're so fast.
What was that? Oh, it's a kingfisher.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you stuff happening this weekend on the canal or not?
No, because we're still stuck with the breeding season
and all of that. Yeah. Peter, thank you for coming in. You're a good man.
Yes, we are actually going to do some work right now on the canal. As soon as I get changed out
what
of
are you
here,
going to do?
We're going to get these last 3 hogweeds.
Oh yeah, hogweed, look out. We're going to take you out of it. Yeah. You'll come back to me again.
Oh yes.
Because I want this to be your regular spot.
Yep.
and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
God bless you.
Righto. Thanks very
a lot.
much.
Good luck to you. Take care.
Bye.